President Zelensky proposes deploying foreign troops to Ukraine before NATO membership. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on December 9th raised the idea of deploying foreign troops to Ukraine while the country is not yet a NATO member. The proposal was presented by Zelensky at a joint press conference in Kiev with German opposition leader Friedrich Merz, amid a 33-month-long war with Russia and increasingly heated discussions on a peace settlement. According to Reuters, Zelensky stressed that having a contingent of troops from another country in Ukraine could be a solution to help strengthen the country's security while it waits to join international organizations such as NATO and the European Union, EU. A contingent of troops from one country or another could be present in Ukraine while Kiev is not yet a NATO member, he said. However, to do this, we need to understand when Ukraine will officially become a member of NATO and the EU. Even if we receive an invitation to join NATO, we still need answers about who will provide security for Ukraine after that. President Zelensky's idea comes amid growing international talk of the war in Ukraine, especially in the face of the possibility that Donald Trump, who has called for reducing military support for Kiev, could be re-elected as U.S. president. Changes in U.S. and European politics have raised concerns about the sustainability of support for Ukraine in the long term. Another important factor driving the idea are previous statements by French President Emmanuel Macron. In February 2024, Macron mentioned the possibility of deploying troops from several European countries to Ukraine to ensure security, despite the lack of consensus from other European countries. The proposal has caused major controversy in Europe, with many countries concerned that such a move could escalate the conflict with Russia. Zelensky said Ukraine is considering and studying this proposal as well as other options to ensure its security. We can consider and study the proposal of Emmanuel Macron, he added, stressing that Ukraine's main goal is to quickly join NATO and the EU. However, he also acknowledged that this process cannot happen immediately, and in the meantime, Ukraine needs a clear and effective security mechanism. NATO has yet to set a specific time frame for Ukraine to join the alliance. Meanwhile, NATO member states, especially the United States, have provided significant military and financial aid to support Kiev in its fight against Russian aggression. However, deploying troops directly from a NATO country to Ukraine could pose significant risks, including the risk of direct confrontation with Russia, something NATO has tried to avoid throughout the war. With more than 33 months of fighting and no signs of abating, Ukraine is facing difficult choices to ensure its sovereignty and national security. Mr. Zelensky's proposal to deploy foreign troops to Ukraine is part of an effort to find a short-term security solution, but it also raises questions about its feasibility and international acceptance. While negotiations continue, Ukraine's future remains largely dependent on support from the West and progress in relations with NATO and the EU.